The battlefield was silent. Dust drifted through the broken air of the Fourth Great Ninja War as the crimson moon rose slowly above the world. In the end, Madara Uchiha won. The roots of the god tree spread endlessly across the land. One by one, shinobi stopped fighting. Their bodies became still, and Infinite Tsukuyomi began. Naruto's eyes fluttered open slowly. "Oh, Mom?" Kushina stood in front of him smiling softly, tears already in her eyes. Kushina said, "Welcome home, Naruto." Naruto froze. His lips trembled. Minato appeared beside her, placing a hand on Naruto's shoulder. Minato said, "You've grown so much, son." Naruto gasped quietly. For the first time in his life, he wasn't alone. Elsewhere, Kakashi stood staring blankly. Kakashi said, "Obito." Obito laughed lightly. Rin smiled beside him. Rin said, "You're late again, Kakashi." Kakashi's visible eye widened. The wind moved gently through their hair. No war, no death, no pain, only peace. Madara watched silently beneath the red moon. Black robes swayed softly in the cold air. Madara said, "This is what humanity desired." A long silence followed. Then, Naruto's smile slowly faded. His breathing became uneven. Naruto said, "Why?" The room around him flickered slightly. Kushina's smile froze for a second. Naruto stepped back. Naruto said, "Mom." The walls distorted unnaturally. A low ringing filled the air. Then Jiraiya's voice echoed faintly. Jiraiya said, "A dream isn't reality, Naruto." Naruto's eyes widened in horror. Far away, thousands of smiling faces remained trapped beneath the moonlight, living inside perfect lies. Madara closed his eyes slowly. Madara said, "Reality only creates suffering." The crimson moon glowed brighter, and the shinobi world slept forever. The crimson light pulsed across the sky. Naruto stumbled backward, breathing harder now. The warm house, the smell of ramen, his parents smiling beside him, all of it began flickering like broken glass. The dream was collapsing. Naruto said, "No, no, this is real." Kushina stepped toward him quickly. Kushina said, "Naruto," but her voice echoed unnaturally now, like a memory repeating itself. Minato's smile twitched for a split second, then froze. Naruto's eyes widened in fear. Far away, Sasuke stood inside a peaceful Konoha. Children laughed around him. The village looked untouched by war. Itachi stood beside him quietly, alive, healthy. Sasuke's breathing stopped. Sasuke said, "Brother?" Itachi smiled gently. Itachi said, "You can rest now, Sasuke." For a moment, Sasuke's cold expression shattered completely. His eyes trembled, like a lost child finally finding home. But then, the sky above the village rippled strangely, like water. Sasuke narrowed his eyes slowly. Unlike others, Sasuke noticed the illusion immediately. A crow suddenly glitched through a building. The villagers kept smiling, too perfectly, too peacefully. Sasuke looked around silently, then whispered. Sasuke said, "This world has no pain, which means it isn't real." At the top of the god tree, Madara sat calmly in darkness. The moon illuminated his Rinnegan. Black Zetsu emerged from the shadows. Black Zetsu said, "Some are beginning to resist." Madara remained silent. Below him, millions slept peacefully inside cocoons of light. Children reunited with parents, lovers together again. The dead returned. No loneliness, no grief, no heartbreak. Madara slowly looked toward the moon. Madara said, "And yet, they would still choose suffering over peace." A cold wind passed. Then Naruto's scream echoed across the illusion. Naruto said, "This isn't real." The dream world cracked. Across the sky itself, massive fractures spread through the red moon. And for the first time, Madara's eyes widened slightly. The sky shattered like glass. Cracks spread across the Infinite Tsukuyomi, splitting the red moon into fragments of light. Every dream world trembled violently. Reality was fighting back. Naruto fell to his knees, clutching his head. Memories flooded him all at once. Pain, war, loneliness, loss, Jiraiya's death, Neji's sacrifice, Kurama's hatred, Hinata's trembling confession beneath pain's destruction. Naruto gasped sharply. Tears streamed down his face. Why does reality hurt so much? Kushina knelt beside him slowly. For once, her expression no longer looked artificial. She looked sad, like a mother who already knew the truth. Kushina said, "Because the people you love are real there." Naruto looked up at her silently. His lips trembled. Naruto said, "If I wake up, you'll disappear again." A long silence filled the room. Even the dream itself seemed unable to answer. Then Kushina smiled softly and touched his face. Kushina said, "Naruto, loving someone means letting them go too." Naruto broke completely. A painful sob escaped his chest. Outside, the illusion continued collapsing. Elsewhere, Sasuke walked through the empty streets of the false Konoha. The villagers around him began freezing motionlessly, like puppets losing strings. Itachi stood behind him quietly. Sasuke stopped walking. Without turning around, he spoke softly. Sasuke said, "You aren't real. Itachi smiled faintly. Itachi said, "No, but your love for me is." Sasuke's eyes widened slightly. For a second, all his hatred disappeared. He looked like the younger brother he once was. Then Itachi slowly began fading into glowing particles. Sasuke instinctively reached forward. Sasuke said, "Wait," but his hand passed through light, silence. The empty street trembled around him, and for the first time in years, Sasuke looked afraid to be alone again. At the summit of the god tree, Madara stood slowly. The cracks in the moon reflected across his eyes. Naruto and Sasuke suddenly appeared before him inside the collapsing dimension. Dust swirled violently around them. Madara stared at them calmly. Madara said, "Tell me, when reality has brought humanity nothing but suffering, why reject happiness?" Naruto clenched his fists tightly. Tears still ran down his face. Naruto said, "Because pain is what makes our bonds real." The entire dimension shook violently. Sasuke activated his Rinnegan beside him. Sasuke said, "A world without loss isn't a world that can move forward." Madara closed his eyes slowly. For the first time, he looked tired, not angry, not hateful, just exhausted. The man who tried to save the world had forgotten how to live inside it. Madara lifted his hand slowly. The shattered dimension around them suddenly changed. Darkness faded, and countless visions appeared in the sky like floating memories. Madara said, "Then tell me, Naruto, tell me why this world deserves to end." The first vision appeared. Obito stood beneath a peaceful sunset. Rin laughed softly beside him as they walked through Konoha together. No war, no blood, no masked man, just two children who finally grew up together. Obito scratched the back of his head sheepishly. Obito said, "Guess I became Hokage after all." Rin smiled warmly at him. Kakashi stood watching silently from afar. His visible eye trembled. Another vision formed. Itachi sat quietly beneath the Uchiha district lights. Izumi rested against his shoulder peacefully. No massacre, no lies, no endless burden. Itachi's expression looked calm for the first time in his life. Izumi said, "You finally look happy." Sasuke's breathing suddenly became uneven. His eyes widened slightly. Sasuke said, "Brother." Oh. Another vision. Neji stood inside the Hyuga compound smiling faintly. Tenten handed him tea while arguing playfully. The branch family seal was gone. No curse, no sacrifice, just peace. Naruto looked away painfully. Another. Asuma held a small child in his arms while Kurenai leaned against him smiling softly. Smoke rose from his cigarette as evening rain fell outside. Asuma laughed quietly. Asuma said, "Looks like everything turned out all right after all." Kurenai closed her eyes peacefully against his shoulder. The vision slowly drifted away. Silence consumed Naruto and Sasuke. Then, another image appeared. Gaara. Young Gaara stood in the sand village surrounded by his family. His mother alive. His siblings laughing beside him. No monster, no loneliness, no hatred in his eyes. Just a child, a normal child. Tiny Gaara smiled as his father gently placed a hand on his head. Gaara's soft laughter echoed faintly. Naruto's heart shattered. His lips parted slightly. Because he knew, more than anyone, how badly Gaara had wanted that life. Madara's voice echoed calmly around them. Madara said, "No more orphaned children. No more grief. No more graves." The visions continued endlessly across the sky. Parents reunited with lost children, lovers embracing again, friends returned from death, a world without suffering. Naruto clenched his fists so tightly they trembled. Tears streamed silently down his face. Even Sasuke looked shaken now. Madara stepped toward them slowly. Madara said, "You call this false? Look at their faces. When was the last time this world truly smiled?" A painful silence followed. Naruto looked at Gaara's vision again, at Obito and Rin, at Itachi finally free from suffering. For one terrifying moment, even Naruto wanted to stay. Then the visions flickered unnaturally. The smiles repeated again, and again, like broken puppets trapped in endless happiness. Sasuke narrowed his eyes immediately. Sasuke said, "They aren't living. They're frozen." The illusion cracked slightly. Madara's expression darkened. Naruto wiped his tears slowly. His voice shook painfully. Naruto said, "Maybe reality hurts. Maybe people lose each other. But if happiness is forced, then those smiles aren't real." The wind roared violently around them, and for the first time since creating Infinite Tsukuyomi, Madara stood completely silent.